Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn new topic conserving resources. Before that, let me start with a quote. The earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not to satisfy every man's greed. Do you know who said this quote? Yes, it was said by the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Dear children, do you know the meaning of conserve? The meaning of conserve? Okay, I will tell. Protect. That means something especially on environmentally or culturally important place or thing from harm or destruction. Okay, children, let us start our class. Why should we conserve natural resources? As we know that nature provides all the basic needs which are necessary to us, but we are over exploiting or overusing these resources. If we go on over exploiting the nature, there will be no more resources available in the future. So there is an urgent need to conserve the nature. Here are some needs to maintain ecological balance for supporting life, to preserve different types of biodiversity, to preserve the natural resources for the present and future generations. Dear children, we are going to watch video.
In this module, you will learn about different ways of conserving natural resources. In our pursuit of a comfortable and fast life, we have been using our natural resources recklessly. This has resulted in a major depletion of resources, deforestation and soil erosion, and scarcity of mineral resources, fossil fuels, water, and electricity are just to name a few. It is time to stop and take stock of the situation. Each of us can play a very important role in saving the world from this dilemma. The first step is resource conservation. Resource conservation means using the available resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. This will ensure that the present requirement of resources is met. But what about ensuring the availability of resources for future use? Sustainable development is the answer. Sustainable development means balancing our present needs of using resources without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Here are some basic principles of sustainable development that we can follow to ensure that our future generations can live in comfort too. We need to respect and care for all forms of life, including humans, animals, plants, and other organisms. All human beings have a right to a healthy and productive life. All life forms are dependent on the Earth's natural systems. Therefore, we need to conserve the Earth's ecosystem and biological diversity. Non-renewable resources such as oil, coal, gas, and minerals should be used carefully. Educational programs and information sharing can help change people's attitude and adopt practices to save the environment. Communities and groups formed by concerned citizens can help implement all principles of sustainable development. the golden rule of conservation is the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. To reduce consumption, you should first and foremost buy and use less of stuff. Only buy things that are required. Reduce consumption and wastage of resources. Make cards for friends with recycled paper instead of buying them. Walk or ride a bicycle wherever possible. This will reduce the consumption of fuel and thereby air pollution. Take the staircase instead of the lift. This will reduce the use of electricity and also help you remain fit. Buy second-hand books when possible. This will reduce the number of trees cut down to make paper. Switch off lights, fans, and other appliances when not in use. This will conserve electricity. Avoid excess use and wastage of water. Use bags and napkins made of cloth instead of plastic bags and paper napkins. The second step involves reusing resources. Instead of throwing them away after one use, reuse plastic cups, plates, and bags. Reuse the paper in which your gifts have been beautifully wrapped. You can save trees from being cut down. Use old clothes creatively to create a new piece of garment or accessory. Similarly, bamboo sticks can make beautiful baskets. Recycling reduces pollution and wastage of energy and raw materials. Find out about glass and aluminium recycling centers. You can collect and send old bottles and cans there. Try and create your own recycled paper. As far as possible, use products that come in recycled containers. Look for the recycled sign. The future of our planet and its people depends upon how we maintain nature's life support system. It is our responsibility to preserve and conserve the resources provided to us by Mother Nature. Let's ensure that we sustain the natural resources we use, conserve the diverse forms of life on Earth, and minimize damage to the environment. In this module, you learned that using resources carefully and giving them time to renew themselves is called resource conservation. Balancing the need to use resources and conserve them for the future is called sustainable development. The principles of sustainable development are: respect and care all forms of life. Improve the quality of human life. Conserve the Earth's vitality and diversity. Minimize the depletion of natural resources. Change personal attitude and practices towards the environment. Enable communities to care for their own environment. The golden rule for resource conservation is reduce, reuse, and recycle. The future of our planet and its people depends upon how we maintain and preserve nature's life support system. It is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable. The diversity of life on the earth is conserved. The damage to natural environmental system is minimized.
Dear children, in the previous video clearly mentioned how to conserve the resources. Yes children, conserving our nation's natural resources is our fundamental duty. Our Indian Constitution, legislation for conservation, various laws and acts have been passed in Indian Constitution for the protection and conservation of various natural resources. Some of them are Environment Protection Act 1986, Forest Conservation Act 1980, Chipko Movement 1988 and many more. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first International Earth Summit. The summit was convened for addressing urgent problem of environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. It is the declaration signed by world leaders in 1992 at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development UNCED, which took place at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It aims at achieving global sustainable development. It is on agenda to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interest. Mutual needs and shared responsibilities. One major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Dear children, this is your book page. For your convenience, I am giving. You read and understand the meaning. What we have discussed in previous slides. Thank you. Dear children, we completed the lesson resources. Here I am giving homework for you. You have to complete this homework and send it to my personal number. Thank you dear children.